Hi everyone, it's me, Jagira. So, I had an idea. I wanted to make a video explaining Frieza's power level gains during his 4 months of training compared to Goku's gains during 17 years. But instead of that, I chose to just make a whole power level series since the calculations basically involve doing everyone anyway. I will start by doing a video on the Android Saga, and if it pops off in any meaningful way, I will carry on to the Cell Saga. I hope you enjoy. The final official power levels revealed in the manga is Frieza at 120 million and Goku at 150 million. Feel free to look up any prior and earlier power levels on the internet, however anything you find beyond these two numbers are fan-made. Keep that in mind. For the sake of future comparison, I would like to bring up several fights from the earlier levels, from the Namek Saga, etc. First off, we'll take Vegeta with 24,000 and Dodoria with 22,000. The difference between the two are roughly 10%. Vegeta with some trouble managed to defeat Dodoria, so a power difference of 10% is roughly what it takes to semi-confidently defeat an opponent in a fair one-on-one fight. At the same time, I consider 5% to be when one fighter with great effort clearly wins. Such is the case later on, we'll get to it. Next example is Vegeta versus Kui, since it was the 24,000 on Vegeta against Kui's 18,000, so that is a 25% difference, but you might notice that Vegeta did an easy stomp on Kui. That means 25%, it roughly translates into an easy victory most of the time in a fair fight. A little bit later on, we have Ginyu at 120,000, and he practically gave up any hope of winning when Goku raised his power to 180,000, a 33% increase over Ginyu. So the 25% being a stomp is more or less confirmed. Characters could easily be much stronger compared to the opponent than this, but please do consider everything I do here is snowballing so the numbers don't get out of hand and for consistency. I told you guys at the start that my point of making a video in the first place was to do a comparison where I eventually ended up figuring out how much stronger did Frieza get between his final fight in Z and his later fight in Dragon Ball Super where he just got his golden form. Little did you guys know, you probably knew if you're a Dragon Ball fan, Frieza did in fact return to Earth prior to Dragon Ball Super with his new mechanical body. He and his father Cold knew that Goku would appear on Earth soon. We can only expect that they believed they could be capable of defeating Goku quite easily. That leads me to believe that Frieza as an individual at that point had become more powerful than Goku, whom he believes to be at 150 million. So as a lowball, Frieza at this point would have at least a power level of 150 million and 1. But I'll go ahead and put him at 165 million for a 10% boost. Cold's real power is not super relevant, but he is strong enough to make Frieza extra confident in their ability to fight. So I would put him at around 100 million, since logic dictates that Cold himself was not the Emperor of the universe, but his son, who until recently was 120 million. That means Cold was not stronger, but still worth bringing to this particular fight for safety. Their arrival was short-lived, however, due to Trunks' intervention. It was not as much of a 2-on-1 battle as it was simply 2 individual 1-on-1 battles. Trunks managed to essentially one-shot both of them with close to zero effort. We count that as a 25% increase for 206 million. Goku then arrives and participated in an odd sparring with Trunks, where he deflected Trunks' sword slashes with but a finger. The same strikes that Frieza was powerless against. 25% on Goku compared to Trunks, 257 million. So prior to the little time skip we get, we have Frieza at 165 million, Cold at 100 million, Super Saiyan Trunks at 206 million, and Goku at 257 million. Some time passes, and we're going to skip the fight after the time skip between Yamcha and Android 20, since there is nothing relevant to be had there. Goku has become more powerful, but we have no means to measure how much, so we have to keep him at the same number. Or we could put him at 257 million and 1. But what is the point in that? Let's not do that. Android 19 versus Goku is a lot more in line with what the video is about. So, you know Goku has that heart virus thing. That doesn't actually impact the fight at all at the beginning. It only starts to take its hold as the fight progresses. That means that if we focus on the beginning, they are comparable to each other. Goku has the upper hand, but he's not dealing any deciding blows to the android. That means I will put Goku as 10% higher than Android 19. So if we just take 10% away from Goku, we get 19 at 231 million. Then Vegeta joins the fray and ends up victorious. It is stated that Vegeta would not be able to fight Android 20 right after, so he would not be able to do what Trunks did against Cold and Frieza. It is hinted that Vegeta only barely came out of it in the first place, So I would put it at a 5% increase over Android 19 for a power level of 242 million. I personally believe that Goku's maximum and Vegeta's maximum are much further apart at this point, but that is a personal opinion and I will perish the thought. So basic logic dictates that Android 20 is stronger than Android 19 since he was made later in according to the easy to control procedure, unlike 16, 17 and 18. So he should be a better version of Android 19 by all means. We put them as equal since there is no way to figure out how much stronger he is. So Android 20 is also at 231 million. So at the end of this segment, we have Android 19 and 20 at 231 million, Goku at 257 million, and Vegeta at 242 million. Here unfortunately we reach a weird one. Android 20 versus Piccolo. The issue here is that Vegeta just struggled against an opponent who is either equal to or weaker than Android 20. While justified with Android 20 absorbing Yamcha's entire reserves earlier, one of Vegeta's blasts, and an undefined but small chunk of Piccolo's energy. Anyway, Piccolo pushes the opponent around for a while and cuts off his arm, but it's evident that Piccolo had to put in a lot of effort for it, and the reason he isn't sweating is because he's used to fighting and good at keeping his composure. So we'll give Piccolo a 5% boost over Android 20 for 242 million, which is equal to Vegeta, but the power scaling does not always make sense. I'm just doing my best with what I'm given. So we have Piccolo at 242 million and Android 20 at 231 million. Technically a fight, but not really, is Android 17 one-shotting Android 20. But due to the latter being weakened from fighting Piccolo and missing an arm, I cannot count this as a real fight. Android 18 versus Vegeta helps me put everything together. The fight seems somewhat even for most of it, with 18 being ahead, so you'd assume a 5% or a 10% difference. But then, when she gets bored, she breaks Vegeta's arm with a kick that does not seem to take much effort at all. If she had done that from the start, which she most likely could have, it would be a stum of 25%. So I would put it down as exactly that. Therefore, I put Android 18 at 302 million. Due to how things progress during the story, I sadly have to put Android 17 at the same exact number. The two were made as a comparable pair, using the same method. So 18 was made later, so she might be stronger than 17. But we do not know, and certainly not by how much. Android 16 is released, but we are not shown any indicators of his power until the next saga. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first saga with unconfirmed power levels done with my math in my head. I hope to see you guys in the next episode if this pops off in any meaningful way. Hope you have a lovely day. Farewell!